2025 is finally here. It's quick. Sometimes I feel like a fever dream that we're even here in 2025. Some of us are excited, some of us are not excited, but something we can all agree is that it's here to stay, and we can make the most of it. I know coming to the new year, everybody has those resolutions on what they're trying to achieve this year, what they're trying to let go from last year. There's always that, new year, new me type situation. But one thing I can say is I'm a regular guy. I don't want to do all that. I want to just have regular goals for myself on some things that I want to see this year as somebody that's wanting just to have a better life. First things first, this year I want to move more. Moving means I want to move my body, whether it's working out, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's doing a triathlon. I don't know what it is, but every single day I want to move my body. I don't want to just go to work, come back and be sedentary and lay around and play video games all day. It gets easy and it gets very boring and mundane out of nowhere. One thing I want to do is I want to at least have a goal of moving my body for 30 minutes every day. And like I said, those even go for walks. I've seen last year with walks, I felt so much better. And studies have actually shown 60% of people who actually go on a daily walk feel happier, have higher levels of energy, and just overall have a better health. So I want to honestly incorporate that into my life, whether it's something small as a walk or something hard as doing a marathon, but just anything where I'm constantly moving my body, getting fresh air, being around people. I think it's so easy sometimes to have a hard day at work, come home and just lounge and just kind of stay in your own bubble. I want to push myself to be around people more. And what better way than go to a park, go to a trail and go for a walk. Second thing that I really want to accomplish this year is to limit my screen time. It's so easy for me to doom scroll, right? Because you can get a TikTok and you start off watching one video and it ends up 40 minutes later you're in the same spot watching videos that never end. That's the great thing about TikTok. It never ends. You never run out of content. There's always something coming up next. But the thing is that with time, we don't have unlimited time to just sit around and do nothing all day because that's rotting. I want to limit my screen time because I know for myself, I'm not going to speak for anybody else, but I know for myself that I can spend hours on hours watching videos, honestly, that I won't even remember in 5 minutes of what I watched. So I'm limiting my screen time. And that kind of just goes back to the emphasis of getting more around people, experiencing life, being in the moment. Because I feel like for a lot of us, life kind of hit us fast. Like you just kind of felt like the weeks were going by, months were going by, and really didn't do too much. Like honestly, I couldn't really claim any kind of huge momentous things that I did last year, and that kind of worries me. So I kind of really want to limit my screen time, put myself out there a little bit more. Plus, limiting your screen time just helps you at the end of the day. Like how many times have we watched a video on TikTok or Instagram and watching somebody else's life through a lens of their highlights, and we feel bad about ourselves. So I kind of want to limit that. I want to go make my own highlights and not even post them. I just want to live them. I want to be in the moment and have opportunities come to me that normally I'd be watching other people do. Next is kind of following up what I talked about by limiting screen time so I can hang and do more things with people. This one, actually, I want to just hang with more quality people. Like getting some more time with good friends, hanging out with family, really making those lasting memories with family. Because I think the thing about family is what I love, and what we sometimes hate is because they know how to get underneath our skin. But those are sometimes honestly one of the best moments for me when I'm hanging, bugging my siblings. But we're always laughing, we're always joking, we're always clowning each other. But I want to make more memories with them. I want to spend more time while I do have it before we all branch off our own individual families. But spending time with your immediate family. And that includes cousins, that includes friends, that includes anybody who you think is quality and who you think you really want to give attention and time to. Because I think it's so easy, especially as a guy, just to kind of just go through the motions, see each other, see friends whenever we kind of want to, or wherever we feel like it's like, hey, I'll see them, in a couple months or whatever. It's like, hey, make some time, be intentional, reach out, schedule some time with a guy friend or a group of friends, and just be like, hey, brother, let's go catch lunch, let's grab a coffee. But like enjoying those moments and being there, because I promise you, those moments are precious. And like I said, it's being quality people that fill your cup, not drain it. Find people who encourage you, motivate you, help you just be better overall as a person. Finding time to really have good platonic friendships and quality relationships, I think, are what I'm looking forward to most this year. Another thing that I'm really looking forward to is honestly learning a skill. And I think that's In the day and age, everybody's teaching you how to do everything. I want to get back to the days where I just loved learning. I enjoyed learning, whether it was playing the saxophone, learning how to do digital editing, like things where I was just bored and curious. Like, I want to be curious again. I think it's so easy to get distracted in the familiar, whether it's playing video games, whether it's just going out and getting drinks, whether it's just, I don't know, just anything. But finding some time to yourself and just allowing yourself to be curious on what can I learn. I don't think we give ourselves enough credit on how smart and how adaptable we are as humans, and allowing ourselves to put ourselves to learn something new. You know, they always say you can't teach an old dog new tricks. I think that's so false. And it's harder, yes, as you get older, but it is not impossible. Like this year, I want to learn how to swim. I'm a statistic, yes, I do not know how to swim. I'm 28, and sometimes it's embarrassing for me to admit that because I think that's such a life skill. But this year, I'm not going to make any more excuses. I want to learn how to swim. I want to learn how to play a new instrument. I want to learn how to just do something different than what I'm used to. Because I think first and foremost, it's a conversation starter, right? And it allows you to have more things to experience and more things to do and more things to look forward to than just coming home, watching Netflix and opening some wine or whatever you have to call. This next one is a big one. I want to learn to eat better, right? Because I think when we said learn to eat better, it's like, I didn't know what I thought was healthy was not healthy. I used to eat these protein cookies. I thought they were really good. I had like 15 grams of protein, but I had like 500 calories. And I didn't understand why I was gaining so much weight because I was working out so much, but I didn't realize that I was eating more than I was burning. And for a lot of us, we kind of come home and we get sedentary anyways. We don't really have an active lifestyle outside of work. You're not really moving. So you're just sitting down and lounging and you're just adding and eating and watching movies and eating. So I really want to be more studious on my nutrition this year. What am I putting in my body? Understanding calories in, calories out, understanding a caloric deficit. And it's because I think health is wealth these days. And I think fitness and nutrition go hand in hand. Like, you can't outwork out a bad diet. And for a lot of us, that's what we think we can do. We can eat anything we want and work out. And if that's your speed, all power to you. But I really want this year to be the best year where I'm actually putting time and attention into my diet and I can help achieve my fitness goals as well as my nutrition goals. This next one is what I think a lot of us struggle with. It's just being in the moment. I heard a fun fact, and it said the best state for millennials to live in is a state of anxiety. And I actually started laughing because it is true. I feel like we're more anxious than we've ever been. Obviously, life, the economy, inflation, relation. There's so many things that are on our backs that it's sometimes hard for us to breathe. And I'm one of those people that sometimes being in a moment is the hardest thing for me to be in because I feel like I have so many things that are pulling my attention away. I have to be this, I have to do this, I have to invest here, and it just sometimes I'm drowning. And for me, I really want to be intentional with my time. First and foremost, prioritizing rest. Like, not every day is go, go, go. But there's a difference between being busy and being productive. So I feel like a lot of last year in 2024, I was being busy because I felt like I held busyness as a badge of honor. But this year, I really want to be intentional about that. And I want to be present when I'm with people. I want to be present in my day so it doesn't feel like, where does the time go? What did I even accomplish? What am I doing with my day? Because sometimes I feel like I get to the end of the day and I don't know what I accomplished that day, and it sometimes that's actually one of the hardest and worst feelings to ever have because you just feel like you wasted a day. I don't want any more than 0 days. I want days that fill my cup, when days I'm being productive. And productivity doesn't mean I do 1,001 things. It just means that I'm doing something and that's something that's progressing me towards my future. And that could honestly only be 2 things, and that's okay. I want to be the first person to tell you that you don't have to have a Nobel Peace Prize by the end of the day, solve world hunger while working out 3 hours. Like, that just sounds that just sounds like everything I'm hearing online, and I don't want to be that. I want to be intentional. I want to work hard, but I want to work smart. So I'm prioritizing my mental health this year of being present. I also this year really want to volunteer more. I think volunteering early in my youth was something that I saw as honestly a punishment because I had to go and volunteer. I could be doing so many things better with my time, but I'm giving it back, whether it's the food shelter. And I thought that was lame. Just being honest, I thought volunteering was lame and it was honestly boring. But as time goes by and you see as an adult that What volunteering allows you is to contribute to something bigger than yourself. And I think for a lot of us, sometimes living for ourselves and just doing things for us, sometimes it gets draining. Gratification that you get from doing something for somebody else, whether it's volunteering in your community, whether it's volunteering in your church, or it's volunteering with a sports team or something, I don't know, but giving your time back and allowing, seeing something come that you honestly, you're not gonna get anything in return for the most part. All you're gonna get is that warm feeling of contentment, of joy, of helping somebody and doing something not just for yourself. I wanna find a good cause in my community that I feel like is worth helping, and they're underserved, and really do something for that this year. And I think everybody should at least volunteer at least once this year, because it just allows you to give back. I think giving back is one of the best feelings that you'll ever have. This next thing kind of piggybacks off what I said earlier about being present, but I really want to learn more about myself. I want to allow myself to be bored a little bit more this year. And I think that's the hardest thing for a lot of us, is to kind of be alone or be by ourselves, because it causes us to ask questions or to really understand and sit back and expect our lives. But I really want to spend some time with myself, whether it's going on a date, going for a walk, but spending some time understanding why I do what I do. In a day and age with so much information and content just being put out there, that sometimes we spend more time listening to others than we do to ourselves. And that's honestly one of the worst feelings, because as great as listening to somebody else talk about what they think you should do, I think you should spend some time listening to yourself, thinking about what you really want to do. And for a lot of us, we don't really know what we want to do. We're waiting for somebody else to tell us, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a show, whether it's even music, because people listen to music and they really get inspired, but is that really what you want to do? Do you know why you do what you do? Why you act the way you act? For a lot of people, they blame it on astrology, they blame it on crystals. Oh, this is why I'm just the way I am. But why? Ask yourself the hard questions. Be intentional with your time. So that's really what I want to do this year, because I found certain things of why I do what I do, and I started looking, is it because I see it from my relationships, or is it from family, or is it just me trying to be something that I'm really not? It kind of made me ask a lot of questions. So I want to embrace the suck and just kind of learn more about me, because that's the only person I talk to 24/7. And last but not least, this year as a regular guy, something I really want to do is I want to limit my vices, and honestly just get rid of them altogether. For vices is maybe overeating. I think they said too much of anything is a bad thing. I know with food be seasoned. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a foodie. I love eating, I love trying new foods, but sometimes I use that as an overindulgence, whether I'm feeling stressed or anxious, and I'll eat more than I honestly need to, and then I'm not even hungry sometimes. I just need something to eat. So maybe limiting alcohol consumption, I think socially is fine, but I think when it gets to the point where I'm needing that drink, needing that shot, needing something to make me not feel the way I feel right now is where it gets scary. Because I think for a lot of us, as honestly as innocent as having a glass of wine, but a lot of us rely on that glass of wine after a long day, and we're trying to run from something, honestly, And I think we're in an overindulgence of, like I said, anything is bad, and over reliance on anything is bad. So finding what those vices are for you. If some people, it might be alcohol, it might be weed, it might be food, it might be caffeine, it might be pleasure, and pleasure comes in different ways. And as men, whether that's porn, whether that's sex, whether that's just anything that you can think of that allows you to feel some kind of euphoric feeling, is honestly bad as well. So I think that's where we all, and like personally for me, where I see the greatest benefit is limiting those, because at the end of the day, you don't want to have a self-reliance on something that's not yourself. So that's just my things, my resolutions this year as a normal guy. If you're a normal person just like me, and you're not a billionaire or influencer or content creator, drop some things that you're wanting to let go this year or add this year as your resolutions. Let's make 2025 a great year.